I got this book was so that I could learn more about the mechanisms of the brain, as I know the pineal gland. It's in the Bible where Jacob meets at Peniel, right? And that's one example of astrotheology and the brain. And then also the constellations as well. We see so many examples of brain medical anatomy terminology in the constellations that are in our head, fornax, fornix, right? Excuse me. There's lots of parallels. And so I thought I really need to learn more about this, as I know that we need to activate deep inside of here. We need to unlock that door. You know, we need the key, as told in the Bible, to unlock the door to activate the antenna, right? The spire, essentially. So if you look at like any Tartarian architecture, any amazing Gothic architecture, okay, and you see the spire at the top, right? And a lot of times it'll be like a round top. Like I'm thinking, I'm saying like cathedral type, and then there's a spire, right? Well, that is essentially it's the skull, okay? It's the skull, and its consciousness here, and the spire is the antenna. How do I know that? I know that. I know that for sure. And the spire, it also, you always see the spire or the steeple with churches, right? Well, that's showing, yes, in a spiritual sense, right? Activating in the sky. The spire is a sort of it's used as it's a symbol in the church, right? But it's not religious. I mean, it is spirituality, but it's really about you, about the self, and about activating the higher self with the antenna, which is part of the ethereal, invisible self here. Okay. And you don't think the originators of the church and the Vatican and all that, you don't think they knew that? Of course they knew that. They know that we have special abilities that we need to access that are kind of dormant if we're not activating inside with the fornix and the pineal and the pituitary as well, the whole system, the hippocampus, right? We need to unlock this, right? This is our way to access the higher mind, the higher self, the invisible self, the outer self, the true essence in which you are, which like in my videos where I decode language, I explain, it's like rather than born in here, we are orbed into here, right? It's in the word born because you are in here, you have a magnetic electric light essence here, okay, directly correlated to the constellations, which are projected, decoded, right? Decoded by way of the brain is how we are, and the third ventricle, the eyes, right? We decode it. So the thing is we so often look to religion, or maybe it may be less now. This is a good thing. We're moving away from it. But religion as or the Bible as a sort of guide, which has totally been hijacked, we know, and the way it should be viewed is that inside the self, just like says in the Bible, he says, Jesus says, the kingdom is within you. So when we see this architecture, the dome, which is just like the skull, the dome, and the spire, the antenna, right? That is you. I mean, that is what we are capable of in this experience, right? I mean, you are a body inside of a spirit, okay? The spirit, the sprite, the electric being right here, which is encompassing simultaneous incarnations, or some like to say reincarnation. I don't usually say reincarnation. I usually say simultaneous, as if there's no linear time and it's more of a wheel, okay? Then that means that you understand that there are other elements of other dimensional planes and other elements of consciousness that are existing simultaneously that you just are not aware of, which I don't usually use the word aware because that's software and hardware. Hardware is the brain, software is right here. Okay, this was my little late night. And it was a couple of different things that I've discussed in this. However, I have a lot more to say, and certain topics and notebooks that are very focused, focused on things that I, I know I'm talking a couple of different directions, but it's the reason is that I well, the biggest reason is that I have so much to say. I have a lot to say, so I don't always have the time or the ability to deliver. I deliver everything like separately in my videos, in my especially decoding language and the zodiac. Um, but sometimes it's kind of nice to just free talking, even though it's not easy, as it's not reciprocal. It's not the easiest thing to just sit and talk to yourself. Um, however, I want to do it because that's why I started the channel, so I could have a way to release and come to you.